You're listening to Voices of IFES, where we speak with people from around the IFES Fellowship about all things student ministry.
I would like to invite Abygale Elliott, who attended the IFES Academy. I would like you to very briefly introduce yourself. What are you studying, and how did you become a Christian? A bit about your Christian life before I continue interrogating you.
Good morning or good day, everyone. My name is Abygale Elliott. I am 21 years old and I'm a member of ICE IBC of Cayman Islands. I am a law student. I currently study law at the Truman Bond Law School here in the Cayman Islands, which is under the University of Liverpool in the UK. My Christian walk. So I grew up in a Christian household. I'm very grateful for that my parents, my extended family, they were able to introduce me to Jesus at a young age. I was very involved in church. But like many others who grew up in church, I never truly had an encounter with Jesus. I was more so an everyday Christian trying to maybe do a prayer before bed. But maybe 4 years ago, I truly had an encounter with Jesus when I was in a very dark place. And he showed himself to be everything that I needed and more. He was my comforter, he was my waymaker, and yeah, he was truly everything that I needed. And I'm so glad to have IFES, ISIVC up here in the Cayman Islands to be that space, that extra space besides church where I'm able to fellowship and learn more about.
You know, Abygale, before this, I was so nervous to be hosting this meeting, but when I knew you were coming on the call, I found courage. So I'm so glad you're on the call. So I have less nervousness. Let me ask you the second question. Yeah, you have been to World Assembly and IFES Academy, and could you share a little bit about what they are and how you benefited from going to these two places?
Okay, no problem. So, World Assembly is a gathering, an international gathering of IFES students, staff workers, and board members. It happens every 4 years, and I was very privileged to attend the last World Assembly, which was in Jakarta, Indonesia. And IFES Academy is a regional training initiative for staff workers and student leaders in IFES, which is the English, French, and Dutch speaking Caribbean. And it was really uh, to benefit us as student leaders to grow in our leadership in our university context or in our secondary school context. And overall, I think it was really important to learn about evangelism and discipleship, which is our mandate here in IFES, and that it goes deeper than spreading the word, especially for us university students. It goes into how we conduct our academic affairs, our student affairs, and how we intentionally go out and break down the walls that exist within Christianity. World Assembly specifically, I really enjoyed learning about honest lament and turning to God instead of running away during our trials or troubles, and just training ourselves in forgiveness because our brain is so malleable. But there's so many things that I learned. I could probably talk forever on this.
You know, Abygale, I heard a secret from your staff that she said after you all returned from Carifest Academy, you all have started doing the work, and she just follows along. So you know you are running her out of a job. But you know, really great to hear what y'all are doing, going from campus to campus or schools to encourage other young people. Now, having gone through these leadership trainings, what would you say are the core values of leadership that stand out to you?
Okay, so firstly, I think it was really important to learn that you cannot be a leader without following Christ's example. So I think the three core values are humility, integrity, and to serve, like serving, being a servant. And we really focus on being a servant at Caritas Academy, and that the whole premise of leading is to serve, and you shouldn't be a leader if you're not willing to serve or that's not your main ambition. At Caritas Academy, one of our teachers gave us this definition of serving, which was willfully choosing to act on behalf of the object of our love in the way that meets their needs. And that really stuck out to me because there's truly no better way to describe what Jesus did for us when he died on the cross to save us. And yeah, for me, it means overseeing others that I've been, entrusted with that role. But yeah, so to serve, humility, and integrity.
Thank you. Now, one day you're going to become a graduate and become a lawyer. And the question I'm asked to ask you is, when you become a lawyer, how will the leadership lessons you have learned from the academy or student ministry shape your witness? Why I say the question I'm asked to ask you is because you might even become a full-time worker like us, but never mind. But how do you think this will shape how you live out your witness?
Okay, for sure, humility. I think sometimes it's easy to develop pride in this field, and I just want to always have God at the forefront uh, of anything and everything I'm doing. Um, Integrity, always ensuring that I remain ethical and remember that justice is the whole reason why I want to do law. Advocacy as a whole is my main goal. And especially learning about serving, and that's the best way to follow Jesus's example. I've personally been in situations where I didn't know the law, I didn't understand it, and I want to ensure that other people aren't in that position, that they get the help they need in the way that I could provide.
Abygale, I have one last question for you. You know, there are all of us are here for Global Giving Day, but there may be some of us who are still unsure whether to give to leadership development or not. What would you say to us? And why is it important that people give towards leadership development?
Okay, so coming from someone who has greatly developed from these leadership trainings, Well Assembly, Caritas Academy, and everything we've had in our local ministry, I think it would be so amazing to know that the next generation, others who are just like me across the world, will be able to develop and grow in the same way, to fellowship with others. Personally, that's been one of the best parts about these events, meeting people from all across the world. We are all praying for each other. We're all giving each other advice, inspiring each other. And it's more than just investing in a camp. It's truly necessary to develop the student ministry and expanding the kingdom of God, teaching us more about evangelism and discipleship so we can become the next leaders.
Do we hear that so that we can become the next leaders? Investing in young leaders blesses the whole church. It's not just, the campus or a small part. It changes our world today for tomorrow.
Thanks for listening to Voices of IFES. Follow us on your favourite podcast platform to hear more interviews like this one today. If you want to hear stories of how students are transforming their campuses around the world, subscribe to Prayer Line, our weekly newsletter with inspiring stories to help you pray for student movements. You can go to ifesworld.org to subscribe or follow us on Instagram and Facebook to listen to stories in audio form.